I'm Ethan.
And I'm Emily.
And welcome to our podcast, What the Flock, all about what's going on in our lovely little yarn store here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Oh my goodness. Now we sort of have a lot and sort of don't have a lot to tell you about today. So this podcast could go one of two ways. There will, of course, be a construction update because how could you guys live without it?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, things have gotten bigger and definitely not any safer. We have Flocktober to discuss with you. We have new projects on our needles. Both Emily and I finished cardigans in Juliet like a week apart. Twilight Zone moment. Oh, I rarely say please don't, but this is a moment for it. And so we are going to try to hammer through all of this with you. If this delightful introduction has spurred you into wanting to watch more of this, thank goodness, please go ahead and click the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out on anything. And there's a little notification bell so it will go off every time that I forget to pre-schedule a live. Every time, I never remember. And every time that we have a new video uploaded for you. So, with our usual preamble out of the way, hey Emily, do you want to tell people about the over there? Go for it.
I mean, they're in like Halloween colours. We've got purple, green and orange. That's about all the nice things I have to say.
Yeah, so the building is 3 colors on one side. Undisclosed if it's staying that way. Fingers crossed that it is.
Well, it's blue on the other side.
Oh,
yeah.
Delightful.
Different colours of blue. Like some are more faded than the others, rather than intentional colour choices.
Great. So cute. It's definitely taller than they said it was going to be. So that's an interesting thing. They said 3 stories. There's now 5. So I guess we'll see. Maybe it'll keep going up.
Yeah.
Oh, the scaffolding has gotten not one lick less sketchy, just for the record. And they've like stopped extending it upward, everyone. So not sure. But in brighter news, maybe one day there will be an end in sight.
Maybe.
We can hope. So, since there was an end in sight, Emily, do you want to tell people about your finished thing and then about your projects?
So I finished my Baronia cardigan.
Yes.
And it's
so
all
good.
blocked.
Oh yeah, that lace did really open up so well.
Yeah. I was just thinking I should have worn it, but never mind. Yeah. So I'm really pleased with how it came out. The sleeves went really quickly, but I was like on a mission to get them finished.
I think you were a woman on a mission with this whole cardigan.
Yeah, I was looking at my Revelry and it took like a month.
Yeah.
So it wasn't particularly quick, but yeah.
But you did other things at the same time.
Yes, yeah, I've got multiple other projects and I love my buttons. They're like vintage.
You nailed the buttons.
Yeah.
Those I think are some of my favorite buttons I've ever seen.
Yeah, and because they like pick out the pink in certain light, and yeah, I really like them.
And so what color did you use on this one?
This is Argyle, which I think we're out of at the moment.
Yes.
But we'll have
But hopefully it will be in the box that they found in Belgium.
It didn't get very far.
No, that's the good news about Europe. Misplaced things aren't usually very far away, but we have been definitely told multiple times that the box is on its way. I will believe it when I see it.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my Baronia.
So were there any things about knitting this one as you went through the cardigan that you would tell somebody else who was going to cast it on?
No, I don't think so. Like the lace is pretty easy to follow, and there's a resting pearl row.
Perfect.
It gets a little confusing when you switch to the sleeves because you're going from knit flat to in the round.
Right.
So
does it become a resting knit row in the round portion?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, which took me a couple times to remember and figure out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think so. It is pretty easy. Like it looks complex, but it's not too bad. Just keep a chart, mark out your row, and you'll be good.
Perfect. Did you find once you got to the sleeves that you still needed the markers to show the repeat the way that you did on the body?
Yeah, I didn't take them out, and it helped me if I made a mistake. I could see really quickly because I didn't have the right number of stitches in the between the markers.
Totally.
So yeah, I think it's definitely worth doing.
And my one last question for you about this cardigan is, did you find the fitting and sizing information in Amba's pattern more helpful than your previous one for making a decision to get to a size that you were happy with?
So the only thing on this is it's negative ease.
Right.
Which I haven't actually made something that's supposed to have negative ease. And this is supposed to have 4 inches of negative ease, which seems
quite fitted.
A lot. So yeah, it was just sort of trusting the sizing, I guess, and going from there. The other thing I was going to say, it only used 4 balls.
Whoa.
Of Juliet, yeah.
So 4 balls at $26 a ball. So you got out of here for a cardigan essentially for $104.
Yeah.
NZD.
Yes.
Wild. So if you guys want to get amongst it, we have a ton of beautiful colors for this.
Yes.
And I think of all the ones I've seen, light, dark, it doesn't matter. This does seem to be a lace pattern that really suits a lot of different things. So you can really make a Baronia that fits into your wardrobe, I think.
Yes.
Well, that is so exciting that you have another cardigan finished.
Yes.
To join your cardigan.
Yes.
What else do you have on the go?
Well, I have cast on for Flocktober. So I was waiting for this pattern to come out. So it came out at the end of September, and it's called the Amaretta Blouse by 100 Acre Wool. It's like a short sleeve top. Well, it's got options, so you can make it either as a cardigan or a t-shirt, short sleeve, long sleeve. There's like different hem finishes. So the one I'm going to do has crochet scallops around all the hems. Yeah, and I am using Merci from Filcolana, and this color is mulberry.
Yes.
It's so nice to knit with. It's really soft.
I'm really, really glad that you're working with the Merci, because I think that of all the ones that we touched from Filcolana, the 2 that you and I were most excited about were the Arwetta and the Merci. And I've gotten to knit with the Arwetta, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm really thrilled that you're loving the Merci. That's such great news.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing with the start of a top down. It's kind of annoying. And
yeah,
there were a couple of rows which had like intensive increases, like a make one left, make one right, make one left without any stitches in between.
Okay.
Which was
that's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, getting through it.
All right.
Yeah.
And are you going to jump in on the mystery knit along?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Wow. Harsh. No. Everyone in advance, I knew Emily was never going to jump in on the mystery knit along. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think Stephen is for you.
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And also mysteries are not for me. Like, you know, I find knitting can be quite painful, and like I don't want to knit something that I hate.
Fair.
So I'd rather wait and see
fair assessment.
What it is before I. And I don't like letting someone else choose. Like I don't entirely trust the whole what colours to put. You know, like without seeing the plan of where things are going.
I think over the years, I've developed like a 6th sense for being able to navigate the mystery knit along. So, I'll be very honest, several failures, twists and turns, honestly, still to this day. Like, I put this kit together, I was so smug and proud of it, and then lo and behold, it came out as a Ronald McDonald salute to knitting. Oh boy, not great.
Yeah.
Thankfully someone bought that sample. Gone forever. But it's one of those things where the color combination is really effective, but it's just not something I was ever gonna wear. So I had to let that go. And frankly, I would say aesthetically, Twists and Turns is one of my least favorite mystery knit alongs. I will admit that I am going to attempt, I don't even want to make eye contact with anyone while I say this. I am going to attempt next year to make Texture Time and have it not coming look out like Georgia O'Keeffe designed a shawl. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe in Ethan, and I think I can do this. We'll find out. I'll let you all know how it goes. So I, as we previously mentioned, also finished a cardigan in Juliet. It took 5 seconds to knit. So this will be coming out as a pattern. Hopefully tomorrow will be my pattern writing day this week, where I sit down and get a bunch of stuff done. So I haven't come up, this cardigan does not fit into my usual naming scheme for the way that I name the cardigans the patterns that I make, which is I use the streets and places surrounding us here in Christchurch. But I've looked around, and let me tell you, this is not a very Christchurch color combination, even though we are the garden city, and I intentionally put flowers into this. The flowers match one of my tattoos. That was the whole point. It's not an accident. So I am tempted, because I did put camellias in this on purpose, to call this the Camellia japonica cardigan, because that's what I was thinking of as I was making it. But it's actually based off of a tile pattern that someone then turned into a weaving chart in a Latvian weaving book from the 30s that I then converted into a colorwork chart because the weaving chart was A, wrong, and B, did not work for knitting. I don't know how those old dots per inch charts were ever read by people, but that was a journey.
It reminds me of the English rose motif because they have like the old-fashioned rose that looks a bit like a camellia from.
Totally. It kind of makes me think of Denby pottery.
Yeah.
Like that very harsh blue-white glaze. I mean, I could also call it the Delft cardigan, but I feel like that's kind of wedging my way into Stephen's territory. And also, we're not in Amsterdam. A name will arrive. The test knit for this will be going... It's actually not going to be a test knit. It's going to be a sample knit. I don't need any feedback on the design. It's 4 rectangles. We'll be fine. Sorry, everyone. So I will be doing a preview and sample knit for this particular one. That will be going up next week at the absolute latest, but hopefully Thursday or Friday is my goal. I'd like to have this done end of day tomorrow.
Going up in the Flock online?
Yes, in the Flock online for everybody to find. I will also be finishing the Toe Up Sock class tomorrow. I have only one more video to make for that. And the Knitting with Issa Your Yarn class will be going up on Saturday because I am on a roll. So I really love knitting this. I made this for the Steeking class. The Juliet is a joy to work with. Emily really undersold it to me. She had already started her cardigan and she was just like, it's incredibly beautiful and nice and I love knitting with it and it's gonna make this great cardigan. And I was like, well, fine, I guess I'll use it. No. I also jumped in on it and a lot of other friends in the industry are really big fans of this yarn and I hadn't had a chance to use it. I did obviously already get a chance to use Ulysses and if anything, they're both amazing, which is great news. And Albertine is also wonderful. So as far as I know, Tervarum only makes incredible things that we love and adore. And we have a pile of Berenice behind the counter and more coming. And I can't remember what colors I ordered, which is why we can't just sell it at the moment because I had a moment and somehow ordered the Berenice for the Go-Go Dynamo kits across 2 different orders. I don't know what went on in my head. Like I ordered it intentionally and I still don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking the boxes would arrive closer together in my defense. So yeah, we love it. It's amazing. This took 7 balls of Juliet exactly, which was really fun. It would have taken slightly less if I had calculated the sleeves correctly, which I counted 14 stitches that didn't belong where they were associated. So that's how we ended up with this panel under the arm. And this is, I will say, one of my big arguments for seamed garments. I fully finished all of these pieces and cut them before I realized that I didn't have sufficient room in the underarm to connect the sleeve all the way around and have it ease into the sleeve cap opening very easily, the armhole, arm sky, whatever you want to call it. The best part about a seamed garment, in my personal opinion, is the ease and ability after you've already finished everything to make a modification without it being a huge problem. So what I did in this particular case is I realized that I was short those 14 stitches up at the top and that I didn't need as much ease throughout the sleeve as I thought. So I clearly increased at the same ratio as the body of the thing to make it so that from this angle, it just looks like a smooth increase. And then I was able to just seam this in. So I eased in the sleeve cap, seamed this in, and then eased the rest of the way around. And that was it. So these sorts of small errors that are definitely more frequent at the beginning of seamed knitting, unless you're me and you have been doing it for years and you just can't count, are really easy to correct with our smaller set of skills at the very end of knitting. Gussets and insets and all sorts of things can be done, and it's more like modifying a tailor-made garment than it is anything else. So this isn't a like don't knit things seamlessly rant for once. It's just this is one of my positive arguments for why seamed garments can be really, really helpful in our knitting life. I did steek all of this. I didn't secure most of the steeks. I don't really think you need to. I've come to a place where I'm not super into securing steeks. And what I'm gonna do to finish this one is I'm actually gonna roll all of these cut edges out and I'm going to press it, steam press it flat, and then I'm only gonna put the ribbon over the cut edges. So a narrower ribbon, more easily whip stitched down. I love how I'm saying it like I'm going to be whip stitching the ribbon down. That's cute for me. It's a lie.
What kind of buttonholes does it have? Because they're quite large buttonholes.
Vertical. So because I knit my button bands separately and seam them on, I can make buttonholes that last a really, really long time and are easy to make, and they're vertical. So they're inset into the band as I make them. What I especially love about it is as you button it together, I wanted a robust button band because I wanted big buttons on this cardigan. It's so easy to slip it in, and as you pop it back out, you can see from the back side there's 2 columns of slip stitches running up it. And what that does is it stops it from gaping open over time. And then you just weave in the ends on either side. So you knit up to using the slip stitches on the right side to a certain extent, and then you break the yarn and you come over, you rejoin it, you knit the other side up, and then you knit across to join them back together. Then you secure it by weaving in the ends at the end. That's it.
Easy.
They're so easy to make, and one of the really nice things about knitting a button band afterward is that you get to knit it in 2 pieces, which means you're not trying to track everything that's going on and place your buttons and then place your buttonholes and figure all of that out before you're done. You can literally make the whole one side, block it, seam it into place, and then figure out how to space your buttons. And yes, I did use one of the buttonhole spacers to do this, and oh my god, it was worth it.
Yeah.
It's
an easy way to like play with how big to space them and how many, and
love it. Buttonhole spacers, we sell them. I have now decided are the single greatest cardigan knitting tool in history. That whole thing of trying to work it out and count your rows and do the math is gone from your life. You no longer need to worry about it. You can literally space your buttons on the one side, place the markers where you've spaced the buttons, they will be even no matter what, and then just count the rows afterward. Math gone. So for those of you who are sitting at home saying, I really struggle to place buttons no matter what the designer says, because very few of us are knitting the pattern to the exact length the designer says in it, right?
Yeah. I also have very little faith in designers and the size of the buttonholes versus the size of the buttons they recommend.
Professionally and personally, I would say almost every single designer that I have ever seen is drunk about button size.
I feel like even the Juliet, it's a 1 yarn over buttonhole, and it's supposed to be like a 20 mil button.
Okay, so these are 23 mil buttons.
So I used smaller ones because I was like...
Yeah, so these are 23 mil buttons, and it took 5 rows to give me enough space to make this buttonhole.
Yeah.
So because the buttonhole isn't supposed to be tight to the button, everybody. For those of you who sew at home, you know that what we're trying to achieve is a buttonhole in relative size to the button so that as it folds back down around the shank that we've either made or is included in the button at the bottom, it stays in place with a flat placket on either side, right? You're doing the same thing with your cardigan, which is also why I like to countersink my buttons into the purl row as opposed to onto a knit row, because then they sink down instead of pulling up. Ta-da. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's done. Double shawl collar. I will admit I did a really fun thing this time where I knit the one piece, counted all the rows, knit the other one, eased them both completely into place at the back of neck, and then I actually just unraveled the extra rows to do the 3 needle bind off, because the back of the neck of this is finished with a 3 needle bind off. Thank you, Jared Flood.
That's one thing I did differently on mine, is I did my shoulder bind off on the inside instead of on the outside.
Oh, thank goodness.
I did not want it on the outside.
Yeah, that's correct. That was the correct way to do that.
Yeah.
10 points for Emily, everyone.
And that's like super easy to change.
Perfect.
That's the only like design mod I did.
Now,
anyway.
Speaking of top down,
yes,
and a little tricky to start, I have started my Flocktober project. I am using a yarn that we do sell that we don't have in stock, but we are happy to special order it for you. This is Cumbria worsted by the Fiber Company, and we are going to be bringing it in. Yeah. What I'm doing here is a temptation knit, a pre-knit for our next knit along, and participating by technicality on every round.
Super summary weight.
Yeah. So I'm knitting Cote by Hiroko Payne. This is the beginning of it. I really, really love this pattern. Full disclosure, I know Hiroko and worked on the pattern and all of those things. So, but yes, I'm knitting something that I know and love already. The cables on it are really beautiful. I've just begun. this yarn is hands down one of my favorite yarns of all time. I've only knit one garment in it before, and I'm so happy knitting with it again. The quality of the yarns that we're bringing in now and bringing to all of you now are such a beautiful, wonderful step forward at such a reasonable set of prices that sometimes it's a bit of a, like, we need to pinch each other moment.
Are you sure that's how much it should be?
Yeah, like, did Ethan math correctly? Which is a frequent question. And the good news is mostly yes. It just turns out that yarns are great. So this is a Fiber Company yarn and a Hiroko Pain pattern, and I'm super, super thrilled, obviously. I've just started, and it does, I will say, like with most top-down knits, as Emily kind of alluded to, the beginning is tricky. And I don't think that should stop us from knitting things top-down. I think that we, as the person who edited the I'm kind of guilty of not reading it sometimes. I've had about 2 boo-boos where I've switched sizes from the last time I knit this. So I knit this in a size 2 previously and then made a mistake at a really unfortunate moment and didn't catch it until like way too late, like binding off the bottom. So I frogged the whole thing. And quite frankly, I don't sell the yarn that I originally knitted in. So I then found this yarn, which I was using for something else. I frogged it, turned around, and decided to cast on this because I got engaged.
What is Cumbria?
Cumbria worsted is a blend of merino wool, brown masham wool, and mohair. The mohair is not brushed, it's blended into the wool, like the beautiful wool that we offer you from Admora Angoras. And it has, to me, an incredibly smooth but grippy and natural feel to it without being aggressively prickly. So it's a semblance of rustic, if you will, underneath the guise of really, really beautiful. The masham gives a slight halo to it. It's a shorter brown fiber, so it also really enhances the depth of color on these darker shades. This is Eden Valley, and the mohair makes the yarn shine. And the merino gives it this bouncy springiness. So the 3 fibers come together in this blend to give you the best of each of them without detracting from the other. And it takes a really delicate balance of percentages and trial and error to get to that. And that is why we love Fiber Company yarns. If you think about it, Fiber Company and the Danish yarn companies are essentially doing the same thing from 2 different perspectives. With the Fiber Company, overall, you're getting one strand of yarn that does everything. And with the Danish yarn companies, you're getting the opportunity to create those unique fiber blends for yourself as you proceed through your knits. So it's a best of both worlds scenario to me by having both of them in stock.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, the Fiber Company does not skimp on the luxury end of things.
Yeah.
I've now forced Emily to touch Acadia on several occasions, and I'm sure that she plots my death for it on a regular basis.
Yes, well, I have some.
I know.
And I've been plotting what to make of it, but I keep changing my mind.
Because it's too beautiful and you almost don't want to waste it, right?
I used it for my hood, my
which
Paris
was
hood.
so cute.
Yeah, and it's really nice yarn. And then I'm like, it's like having that fabric that you don't want to cut into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if I do this and then I find a better pattern?
Totally. Well, you know what the good news is? If you use your Acadia and then you find a better pattern, do you know what we do?
Get some more.
We just get more Acadia.
Yeah.
And that goes for all of you at home.
I have this like fixation, and you'll be shocked to hear this, of Acadia and moss stitch. I mean, I know you're shocked, but I feel like it needs to have moss stitch.
I think you're right, actually. So Acadia has this slightly variegated appearance to it because the way that it's produced has chunks of silk through it, and it creates these like intense tonal pops of color like a tonal tweed, essentially. And we're looking back at it.
And that green, especially or the yellow birch.
The yellow birch, like, and I will tell everybody because the last 2 times that it's come in, it has sold out in less than 20 minutes. There is a bag of cedar on Acadia in this order. So start your engines now, yarn sluts. Yeah, I'm saying it now. I'm
Also,
decided to start
there was a
saying
bag of yarn in the last Fiber Co box that I was obsessed with. Sure
I don't know what you're speaking of.
I'm sure you know what I'm speaking of.
Okay, so I have a plan for next year to bring you something that is possibly the world's most over-the-top yarn.
But it's amazing. And
it is amazing.
We've had the sample book, and even from that I was like, you know, it's fine.
And
but then the back cover, I'm like, oh.
And I realized this in this moment. I feel so bad. You didn't even open it. Why didn't you open it to touch it?
I looked at it through the plastic. Like
I'm just realizing this. Okay, I'm gonna bring Emily's skein to play with, because I figured out what I'm gonna do with it, and I'm super thrilled. So that is Road to China Light, and honestly, we may need to do. You know what we should do as part of Flocktober? We should do a feature like this every week until the end of the month on a different yarn company that we deal with. So let's round out talking about our amazing friends at Fiber Company before we show you the new stuff and the sale stuff, with some of the other stuff that's coming in their box this week. So our sock yarn of the month for Flocktober is actually Amble.
Yes.
And it's on the way. So Amble should be arriving before the end of the week. We've had it before. I've already knit a pair of socks in it. I've been wearing them actually for the last couple of weeks so I can give you guys some feedback. Amble is awesome. Like everything the Fiber Company does.
I saw the colours that are coming, and the one
I thought you'd be so happy.
There's one in particular that's targeting me.
Shots fired, everyone.
Yeah.
On my part, I have been intentionally targeting individual people with yarn ordering, and it turns out that is a winning strategy because everyone's happier now.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So Amble from the Fiber Company is a blend of easy wash alpaca, merino, and recycled nylon. It knits up like a dream. It is slightly heavier than your average sock yarn, which is really pleasant. It sits at definitely a true sport weight. Not quite DK, but heavier than fingering weight. You can comfortably knit it on a 2.75 millimeter needle and get a beautiful sock fabric, which means you can make a sock actually quite quickly. And if you're a tight knitter, you could probably safely knit socks in it all the way up to a 3.25 millimeter needle. So
I have a devious scheme for Amble that is not sock related, and I cannot wait.
I think that the devious scheme for Amble not being sock related is totally acceptable because after wearing it, it's incredibly soft and comfortable. And I think it deserves to be knit into garments. The other great thing about Amble, and I will be frank, I didn't include them in this order and I will get them in the next one, is they do actually make commercially dyed mini skeins, which is a rarity. So we can actually get you sock set skeins for it as well. So we'll get those in on the next order. But overall, I was very, very lucky. When I first started working in this industry, I worked at a yarn shop called Needles in the Hay. If you're in North America, they are the people you should be buying your yarn from. That's my opinion. They're based in Peterborough, Ontario. The owner there is Deanna Gutman. She was a dream to work for and taught me a lot about this industry by letting me take some big risks and do stuff there. And one of the big things that she was a huge proponent of was Fiber Company yarns. So I was really lucky then to get the chance to work with all of them and to know Daphne and the team because I love Fiber Company yarns. And I had a suspicion from the beginning, and I tried to force Emily into them for many, many a moon. I was like, Emily, are you sure you just want this? And she was like, just get the Juliet. And I was like, are you sure you don't want this? And she was like, God damn it, I ordered the Juliet. And fair. It turns out.
I mean, you guys know that that's
exactly
what right?
That was not at all what she was like. She definitely was just like, you're not going to stop this Fiber Company fixation until I agree to this, so let's do that. Which is true. I was not going to stop until she agreed to knit with some. But I actually think that it might be the perfect Emily yarn brand.
Yes.
Because I don't believe that there has been a yarn from them yet that you haven't been able to wear. Which
I'm
is
quite
a rarity.
excited by the Luma that we just got. I have some plans.
Luma has been an insanely popular yarn for me for years and years everywhere I've worked. There are huge amounts of pattern support for it. I have been talking a lot about it in the Flock online. It's a beautiful blend of merino, wool, silk, cotton, and linen that's all been blended together. It doesn't have that same appearance that a lot of other yarns do. The colors are very slightly heathered, but not that like strands of undyed linen through it, which is also beautiful, but not the effect of this yarn.
And it's not got that like crunchy feel that some linen can, you know, like the ones that are 100% linen are quite stiff when you start with them.
I agree, except for the Antigon. And Nini, I must admit, I don't know what those French yarn witches are doing, but It's like soft
The
and
colours are
smooth.
really cool.
Yeah, I knit a swatch for the shop actually in it that is drying at home, and because Lisa is making a top in it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to steal some of this to make a. She's making a summer tea,
Oh, nice.
and I stole some of it to make a swatch, and I was like, wow, I never want to knit with this again, but it's actually beautiful.
Yeah. Actually, the So Summer is a good choice for that because it'll be like drapey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it only, in the original yarn was a high linen blend, so I thought it would be a great pairing.
Yeah.
And I will say as well, one of the main reasons everyone, just so that we're clear, apart from my not a huge fan of knitting with plant fibers, is they're not warm enough for me. Like, I know it seems like a joke that I'm knitting a European summer worsted weight cardigan, but I will wear this in the summer.
Yeah, he will.
Like, this is a summer garment for me, guys. The other thing that I'm doing for Flocktober, so that is a brief tour of Fiber Company. Yeah, we digress. That was a brief Fiber Company tour because there's nothing like talking about the Fiber Company. But I should say, and we are working on this as we speak. As soon as I get off this, I have to do some admin on this. But I was naughty, and I got some yarn to do a mystery knit along from Stephen and Penelope because
we didn't have much yarn.
No choices. I had absolutely no options. And as soon as I got the yarn, I emailed the very nice man who dyes the yarn and was like, can I please have your yarn? So we're literally working on that as we speak.
The very nice Italian man.
The very nice Italian man named Francesco. Che bellissimo Francesco. Mi piace molto la lana. I colori, tutte le cose con questa. Oh Dio mio, cinque.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hi.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Just
Yeah,
anywhere.
just wherever. We're getting a quick delivery of all of the accessories and stuff from our favorite courier, who I think most days puts up with us, which we're grateful for. Thankfully. So, I ordered a kit, and I'm going to be trying to get these colors on the space for you guys as well, from Dark
Didn't
Omen
join
Yarn.
in.
I know, he didn't jump
It's
in.
like you didn't say anything.
Yeah, right. He loves us when we have a sale because so many parcels go out. Make the courier like us. Just place many small orders. Like, just keep buying those single rings. So, but we love this yarn. I am fully obsessed. So this is Dark Omen. This is their sock base. These colors are Ispin and Void. I'm going to be using these for my mystery knit along, and then hopefully we're going to be bringing them to you because, oh boy, yeah, it's hard not to want it. And I should also say that I will be contacting another European hand dyeing studio today to put in our opening order. So the summer's looking pretty good, guys. It's looking like European summer was just the kickoff to what we're planning, and I cannot wait to show you all of the things that we have planned because it is going to be baller summer. And do keep your calendars free at the beginning of December because we are bringing a banging knit along to you. So, like, brace yourselves. So that is what's going on for me. I will use that for the mystery knit along. The clue will not be out till Friday morning. No, I'm not waiting up for it. I also won't look on social media or watch his videos. I don't need to. I can work it out from the written instructions, and I like the mystery. I'm like Emily, the fun part for me now. And the difference being, I think this is a good thing to possibly state. We are at very different parts in our knitting journey, right? So for me, I have, I don't know, probably 20 shawls, even though I constantly complain I don't have enough shawls. And just to be clear, it's because I do not have enough precisely coordinated shawls, jumpers, and hats. That's my complaint.
I think I have like 3 or 4.
Yeah, so taking a risk on a mystery shawl for you, that's a big, in proportion to the total number of knit items we have, that's a big risk.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to acknowledge that and to say everybody who is a newish or newer knitter who's jumping in on the mystery knit along, go fucking you. That is awesome. And we are super proud of you. People who are sitting it out this year or it's just not your thing, don't feel pressured into it. Have your own yarn party. We are here to show you so many other great things. And while I will be banging out a mystery knit along, Emily will be making a gorgeous top in Fil Colonna Merci, and you can play along with both of us and your own way, and there's no wrong way to European Summer 2024 because the main goal here is actually for all of us, including us, to enjoy our knitting.
Yeah.
That's what we want. So, to help you enjoy your knitting more,
there's some hideous yarn.
Let's get the sale stuff out of the way and point out the restock, and then we'll talk about the situation.
Okay.
So, quickly, this is Allegria Grande. It is a beautiful worsted weight yarn made out of merino and nylon. It is hand dyed by a group of women who are part of a collective called Menos de Uruguay. They get paid fairly for this no matter how we sell it. And really,
their names are on the label too.
Yeah, their names are on the label. The colors are beautiful. It's a great product to work with. It is super soft and smooth for people who are wool sensitive. The only thing is, worsted weight yarn takes up a lot of space. We have a lot of yarn coming for all of you. And so to make room for new kids, some guys have to say goodbye. And this one was not particularly easy to reorder. And that's why we're saying goodbye to it.
Yes.
Not a quality or a sales problem with it. Just A, it's summer, we need the space. And B, we can't get it easily again. And that drives me crazy, quite frankly.
Yeah.
As a yarn purchaser and user,
and especially with worsted, because it tends to be a garment.
Yes.
So if we have like a skein left, then it's like, what?
Exactly.
What's happening with that?
Unless you're super into color work, which many people are. He says wearing a color work cardigan.
I like it. Worsted weights, right?
Boom. That is what's going on with that. Please, please, please jump in and go ahead and make a purchase on that guy. The other thing that we have back in stock, they will not be here for long. Please don't be these people. I love Mindful Collection needles. They are by far my favorites. And these are the two sets that I use every day. I have them packed into a number 14 needle case from Redesigned, which you can also order in black from the website right now. But this is the Believe set. Oh, I got them right. This is the Believe set, which is the short set with the small set with the longer tips. So it ranges from 3mm up to 5.5mm, and it's a really great value. Just as a side note, in both of these sets, there are no 3.75mm needles. They skip it. It's a quirk. We do sort of know why, but I've made my arguments to the company that produces them, and it doesn't make any sense. This is the shorter tips. They also range from 3mm to 6mm. I use both of these sets all the time. I love and adore them. We only get one of them each, usually every so often. So please buy them now.
Yes. I was going to say something else, but you don't need to.
What were you going to say?
I mean, we get one.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily order one.
Yeah, we get one. That's, I was trying. So, good news. I have a new sock pattern coming out this week.
Yay.
For the first time in forever, a new pattern release. I'm going to actually leave these with Emily and see if she will do some pattern photography for them because they are so cute. And I'm going to now say, if I haven't said this before, these socks were actually inspired by you. So the name of these socks also doesn't follow my usual thing. I called them Sweet Enough.
Cute.
Because you are very sweet. That's exactly the thing. And teeny tiny little cables.
Yes, then.
And they're in very Emily colors. And I knit these for myself, and they're not for you. They were inspired by you.
Oh, thanks.
Genuinely, they were. Sorry, Emily, that I designed socks for you and then didn't knit you any. We'll get there eventually. But I think that they're super, super cute and fun. And Emily does have a penchant for small stitch, like no tomorrow. And I thought to myself, hey, maybe I want to suffer too.
I think it would feel nice on you,
Okay, so this is the worst part. It feels amazing. I wore these yesterday, so I re-washed and blocked them because I had been wearing them and then was like, oh, I have to hand these over to be photographed because if not, I'm never going to photograph them because I keep wearing them.
Yeah.
This is the marmalade jar sock set that we had. They are sold out, but we do have so many great sock yarns in stock.
We've got 2 left from them, but not in this colorway.
Not in this colorway, okay. I really wanted peach yarn, and I demanded it until it existed. My usual tactic.
Yeah.
And I'm in love. I'm so, so happy. And the great news is, even though we don't have the perfect ones necessarily,
we've got some new Arwetta colors.
We've got some new Arwetta colors. And can't you just imagine these in these colors?
Yes.
So I, as you all probably know, have been going through a bit of a green fixation. Is that green?
No, that's not green. I was like, where is this going?
I don't know. I've been going through a green fixation. I was like, that is not green.
No.
Anyway, I've been going through a really big green fixation. But the other thing that I've actually been going through that I don't want to knit with, but I'm like super obsessed with, is this really soft pale yellow. Mm-hmm. I keep ordering it.
I think it's called, is that one called Duckling?
Duckling.
Yeah.
I nearly died. So anyway, I've been really obsessed with this color. It doesn't suit me. It's not like my thing, but I really love it and I just think it's so pretty.
And socks would be fine because then you're not.
Yeah, it's not near my face, but I just thought I thought Emily grabbed this one, which was perfect, but these would all make such great sweet enough socks. You could use them in any combination and it's 50 grams per thing, so you get one sock out of one thing. So you would need 2 of these guys to make the socks and then 1 for contrast. And it would be super cute. And then you might actually have enough if you squish some things around to make shorties going the opposite direction with different color contrast. I checked. The math works out. So, Arwetta restock and some new colors. You are gonna love it. This one, 977, I believe is also new.
Yes, that's why I grabbed it.
And I just thought it was really, really great because I thought it was very similar to this little beauty.
I think
they're
it
not
may or
the
may not
same
be
shade, but they had a similar energy. They were like, we're
I
sexy.
think one is marzipan. Out
Yes.
of these, and maybe it's
This
marzipan.
is marzipan and that one is cashew.
Yes.
Luckily, even though they don't tell us the color names, they look like the color names mostly.
Yeah, the ball bands just have the numbers.
I have to admit there's one color from them that I really, really want to order, but that I'm not prepared to say the name of on...
I know which one it is.
Yes, and that's all we can say about it, but there is one color that I am just not prepared to say the name of in public.
We'll just refer it as the number.
Yes, forever. And then you'll definitely know, and then all of you can look it up and be like, wise.
Yeah.
Wise choice. So we also got a restock of Merci because we cannot keep this on the shelf, and I'm going to make an announcement. Merci is going to be a year-round yarn here. While this is a perfectly suited summer yarn, I think that there are applications for this year-round. What do you think, Emily?
I literally want my whole wardrobe.
Okay.
I mean,
No.
I don't have time to do that, but yes.
Yet.
Yeah.
We've got years.
Yeah.
You might get there in the end.
It's just really nice, guys. It's
Yeah.
really soft, and it's not going to be too hot. I'm
And it's
excited.
not cottony.
No.
Like, it gives you all of the feeling of wool without... There's just something about it. This is not my yarn. I want to be clear. This is not an Ethan yarn, but I can really appreciate this in the work that clearly Phil Colonna has done to source the perfect cotton merino. That's my take.
And for those of us who are on the warmer side, it opens up like a whole new...
Yeah.
Actually we'll be able to wear knits in the summer.
Knits in the summer and possibly in those transitional months, combining this with like mohair or something.
Or like in a layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my biggest takeaway, exactly what I was about to say, is my biggest takeaway is I think that this is going to be universally next to skin. I don't think there's anybody, unless you're wool allergic, which is different to being wool sensitive. If you're actually allergic to the wool, probably still a no-go. But I think for almost everyone else, this is totally possible for that full wool appearance and effect, but for next to skin wear.
And I feel like it's also quite unusual for it to be a fingering weight and
It
not a
is
DK.
so many DKs. That's what I kept finding. And I knew that I was going to be bringing in Luma eventually, so I personally didn't want to bring in any competition. And I will say, I find, apart from so far, Merci and the beautiful Gord, and I could be wrong because there is one, I'll be honest, there is one from Durarum that I, now with all the experience of Durarum, I'm super willing to bring in, called Robinson, that's also a cotton merino blend, but I have not felt ones like Luma before until Merci, where it doesn't have that stodgy stiffness that you get from so many cottons and cotton blends. And I don't know which craft they've used, but also can you just hold that up really close to the camera so everybody can get a really good picture of that color palette?
So pretty. Oh, it's like a stripy.
I know.
It's too many.
Yeah, there's just no bad way to use the Phil Colonna Merci. So we got duckling on that as well. Cashew is back. Fairy and mulberry have been two of the best-selling colors. 10 points for purple. Thank you, Andrea.
I had a tough time picking what to make for mine. I was very tempted by this.
You know, I'm really glad that I let myself be deeply influenced by one of our customers who was asking questions about which purples we were bringing in, and then I decided to yes and it. And I thought to myself, get both.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was the right choice. Sometimes you need 2 purples.
Yes.
Lesson learned. And last and not least of everything to show you today, banana. So most of the most yellow mohair that you find out there is either in the psychotic lemon arena, like the
Like
neon yellow
light.
in Emily's tessellated, or burnt mustard. It's hard to find a mid-tone yellow like this that's not super green, not super anything, just kind of
Real
yellow.
like sunshine yellow.
Yeah, and I happen to believe that yellow is the happiest color. I know that might be crazy, but yellow is just a happy color to me. I had my bedroom painted yellow for most of my life. I love the color. So I'm really thrilled with this banana. I will be honest, I actually just needed to order one more bag of yarn, and I wasn't gonna get this color, and then I was like, well, guess it's time. So, we are deep into our Flocktober projects. We are ready for the MCAL. Fiber Company is coming, and I just think the knitting's only getting better. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, if you're in Christchurch, we have
Lights
a
Up Knitting.
Lights Up Knitting event coming up.
Yes.
It's a really cool movie called Puzzle.
It is really cool.
And it sounds like it would be boring, but I promise it's really good. I've seen it before. And
I would trust Emily, and she
Yeah.
worked very hard to get this movie for all of you. Quite honestly, she really
there were multiple
did.
posters. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but
But
it's a really cute movie.
it's
and
super cute.
Yeah.
And we love Lights Up Knitting. So book
Yes.
those tickets. What's the date on that?
It's the 20th of October, Sunday.
October.
And
Perfect.
It's at 1:45 p.m.
The following weekend, we do have a nights out sort of drinks event as well. And I believe the weekend before, we have a needle tasting here at the shop for you.
Yes.
And all of those events are listed on the website right now. And we would love to see you for any of them.
Yeah.
So Lights Up Knitting is the movie with puzzles. So you get to come in, watch it. It's on the 20th. The lights will be up light enough for you to see your knitting. I believe Emily will be there
Yes.
to hang out with all of you guys while I am rocking it at the shop. And feel free to have a little shop at the shop before you head over to watch the movie. The needle tasting, I think, is one of the best events that we run. There's no cost to you guys for coming to do it. And what we do is we lay out many different types of our needles, both shorts and long. So we'll have some Chiaogoo options. We'll have all sorts of different things. And you get a chance to try before you buy. So you can find out, because needles are preference based. We could sit here till we're blue in the face and tell you what the best needles are. The best needles are the needles that you feel the most comfortable knitting with. And the best way to find out which ones are going to work is a little bit of trial and error. So we're going to have all of the needles in shorts and longs, and even possibly the super shorty sock needles, because almost nobody gets to try those. So we will have the super shorty sock needles as well from Chiaogoo. So there will be a whole range of things for you to try on the night. There's no upward limit on how many people can come through. We can just do it like a conga conveyor belt. And as we've said, we've got needle sets and everything else for you if you end up loving things. Whew! October is busy in a good way. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Nailed it. Bye.
Bye.